Let's go live. Okay, here we go there, folks. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strange Jim, and today we're going to be tackling some more Pega to start off with. Like before, we got, uh, well, for today's activities, we got, Pega. We're going to be we're going to be going back over that one challenge again. um, because I got an email asking me to try to do some steps that they said, have you tried this? Can you try it out? Let us know. Um, I'll see if I can, if it works. Um, the likelihood is, I'm suspecting that it won't, but even if it did work, um, the fact that um, you know we're just basically doing the the even the basics of basics on Pega, and we're still getting this kind of error. So it just seems very um, I mean, that's a roundabout way to try to fix the issue, but it's not necessarily fixing the issue. So um, and then we'll move on to the next challenge after that. That's the plan for Pega today. Um, we got some more videos and clips to upload to my YouTube channel. So we got that to work on. We also have um, uh, and we got Dragon Age Origins later on tonight. As I mentioned before, um, much like all the other BioWare games that I've played in the past, um, uh, there's parts of the game where it's like, okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting storyline. I like to kind of see it continue, and I like certain elements of it. But there's a lot of parts that are bugging me about the game too, and um, a lot of it doesn't necessarily make that much sense either. Um, and that's what my problem has been with a lot of the BioWare games is the fact that there's parts in the past BioWare games that just didn't really work. So whatever. You're here for Pega. Sorry for getting on a sidetrack. I'll talk more about that later on tonight. But you're here for Pega. Let's work on that, shall we? So, um, as a background, I'm currently trying to work towards my Pega certification so that I can put that on my resume and, maybe have some companies that might actually want to keep me. That'd be nice. Or, I can apply to other jobs and, you know, trying to find a company that, you know, is loyal to me so that I can be loyal to them. That's the mentality. Um, as well as, learning new stuff is always positive. So don't feel like, um, you know, learning will never get you anywhere. Okay. Um, okay, so I'm working on, I'm working towards my certification, and um, so I'm doing this little video series to kind of one keep me on track to get to that goal. Um, and it also helps in that if I have any problems or questions, I can always um, ask you, the community, to try to help me out with that. You know, if there's something that I'm maybe not really understanding very much, then feel free to put, the answers to my questions down in the comments so that I can have a better understanding about the topics that are being covered here. Um, you know, and if you have any kind of questions yourself, feel free to put your own, questions down in the comments, or chat with me directly, you know, while I'm streaming right at this time. I have no problem trying to answer the questions that I have the answers to. If I don't have the answers, then we will either, try to figure it out, find the answer, or, um, I'll see about trying to like reach out to some individuals that I've met in the past that are experts in Pega and see from them, you know, what, uh, what the best response is for that. Okay. Um, don't feel like I'm never going to get an answer to my question. Always go along the lines of let's see about trying to find it, even if it means going directly to Pega itself. Okay. There is suggestions of edits and so on and so forth, so we can potentially have a direct connection to Pega that way. Um, so, um, but you know, um, as a caveat to that, okay, this is not being endorsed by Pega itself, so don't feel like I'm getting some kind of special treatment from Pega. I'm not. So you know, don't make that kind of assumption. Also, I'm not an authorized training partner, so don't feel like I'm someone that is authorized to train you. Okay, there there are programs, instructor-led training that can help you. If you have the money to pay for the training, then you know go right ahead. Um, you know, Hopefully they will provide you all the answers to your questions, like right then and there. Um, as soon as you have them, then there you go. Um, but yeah, I'm just working towards the certifications myself. So, and my objective, my goal is to eventually get the system architect certification. Now, I may try to get the business architect as well, um, because these two are very similar, um, for the most part. I mean, the two missions here that you see, they're the same. They're the same two missions. You know, so these two are exactly the same in everything. Okay. The only difference is the fact that this one has 26 modules and this one has two modules that are different than the 26 here. So we will cover those two modules as soon as we're done with the two missions, and then we'll proceed on with the 26 modules here. Or at least that's the game plan. Um, but it's gonna take a while. If I'm doing like an hour per module, then from what I think I counted that I'm like I still have like um potentially like 60 more, 60 more modules or so to go to finish all of it. So there's a bit. Um, okay, so first off, let's go back into creating a child case, because I got an email um, about starting up, um, um, about trying the steps that I was given. So Here, let me bring up my email here real quick and see if I can replicate the that particular steps. So, hold on a second. Let me get it to a point where I can look at everything in question here. Oh, yeah. Um, right. Now I wanted to do a reset on it because um, I wanted to kind of go through a clean slate with it. Because I felt that if I tried to go through, you know, if I tried to go through some of the previous issues or whatnot, I won't have, I will have um, like I might have some details that might be kind of ruining the experiment. Okay, it won't be like a clean experiment, you might say, right? Um, so, like, take this for example. Okay, when you are trying to run something, when you're trying to run an experiment, okay, in like, biology, chemistry, whatever, what have you, right? You want to try to keep everything as sterile as you possibly can, okay? If you have some kind of chemical residue, left over from like a previous experiment, that might um, change your current experiment, okay? Because you're having those, chemicals that are mixing with, your, you know, what you want to try to do. And hence, that will change the overall results. I don't necessarily want that to happen in this particular case. I want to make sure that, my experiment is as sterile as I possibly can to to make sure that there's nothing, they won't fault me for like, oh my God, why did you do this in the past? Because that changes everything, that kind of thing. I don't want that happening. Okay. Um, the person that I've been kind of contacting with concerning this particular challenge, they gave me some steps that, I want to do, but um, I don't want any of the like the past history um, to ruin the experiment. That's all. That's my thinking. So, it's just gonna wait for the instance to load on up. So, which, could potentially take a little bit of time. So, uh, so download it. Actually, I'll talk about that later in the stream about the whole clips. You know, if you're watching this right now, then whether on stream or um, video later, feel free to check out the rest of my channel. Granted, it's mostly gaming, but I still have some programming as well. So feel free to go through those playlists. I know the length of the videos are quite long at this time. I get it. I understand. You know, I'm trying to currently, I'm currently trying to work on editing like a single video of mine down into, you know, more, like bite-size video content. Um, I know for instance that I won't be able to do that on a regular basis. Especially seeing that I'm still not I don't have like everything kind of set up in editing right at this moment in time. So hmm, seems to be taking a while. Here, let me just do a reload of the page here. There we go. Right. The username is still going to be pretty much the same, so there we go. I know that I'm doing this for the for the third time in this video series, and I apologize for anybody that's like, I've already followed the steps, Jim. What are you doing? Um, for one thing, I need to get it cleared. I need to get it completed so that I can finish off, um, that, um, so I have that little checkbox saying, hey, I've done this kind of thing, right? Um, Second thing, it doesn't hurt to go through these steps and learn it. So, repetition isn't bad. It just kind of reinforces what you've learned in the past. So, don't feel like it's a negative. But, I get it. You're probably like going, I want you to do new content. What are you doing? I get it. I understand. Um, I just want to, go through the steps and see if I um, do their suggestion to see if it might work. So, um, it's just taking a long time to load everything in, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe they're currently, working on trying to get a new version up. They're working on the server to try to get a better version of it out. Who knows? Alright. Service, add process, new process. Let's get the name. Step. More. Automation. Break case. Select. Then you modify it there. And then we change this to service. And then we delete this. And there's that. Yeah. And we click on save. So what I'm reading right at this moment in time is that they went through all the steps and they were saying the exact same error on their end. But what they did see is that they went back into the first case and did a save and run afterwards, and that was it. And, they were able to get a um, clean run through after that. So I'm gonna just kind of do the steps that they mentioned, you know, logging off and then logging right back in again. Oh, I don't have the password saved. I mean, I should probably just memorize that password so that I can just, type it in, but whatever. Okay, um, so we've gotten to a point where, we're done with everything there. We are now on the confirm your work. So we're doing the preview. We're doing that. We're seeing the request isn't there. We're doing the system's request. Um, Still not responding. Come on. Thank you. Now, I know, from previous examples that this might not work unless, of course, they updated it recently. But we've already kind of, if they did, then great. If not, then well, you know, we're um, we're just going to be seeing the exact same problem that we saw before. So now I'm not quite sure exactly how they kind of went back to the assistance request from here, but maybe they just kind of clicked case types and clicked on assistance request. I don't really know, but okay. So we can confirm that this error is still kind of popping up, and no matter what we can do, it still remains the same. Okay. So based off of my contact's email that I just got sent, they're saying I verified that I am also seeing the error and continue to see the error if I generate the assistance request case from the create menu on the left. However, if you go back to the case types assistance request, so case types, assistance request, and do a save and run to resave the case and generate the case instance, then I don't see the error. So from here, we're going to do the save and run. And now we're going to go right back through everything again. Same steps that we did before. And, same address and all that kind of jazz. You know, I don't want to, have any kind of, um, I don't want anybody like going, well, you know, your steps are, different there, Jim. Well, maybe my input is, but okay. Nope. Okay. Um, Let me reply back to him. Was able to get the same error even using the run. Just tried it right now on stream. Sorry. No dice. All right. Okay, so nothing I could do about that. I'm gonna go ahead and log on off and close this down. We're gonna move on to the next challenge because obviously we're still having some issues with the child case. And to be honest, you know, um, if I'm seeing the error once, then it should still, no matter what kind of work through, um, you know, no matter what kind of work through I should try to do to get it to work, there's still an error there. Okay, it still needs to be kind of worked out to figure out, what the underlying cause is and see about trying to fix it so that no one has to deal with that on these challenges. It should be pretty straight through. Or or here's a better one. Put in the challenge that hey, you're going to be seeing this error. Here's how to fix it so that it it helps explain how to handle you know, um, troubleshooting on that particular error. That would be extremely awesome. Um, Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and send that off to my contact here. Um, Say no. If you all find the answer and root cause, um, maybe leave the error in so that you can explain inside the challenge itself what happened and maybe the um, the student uh, you know work out the debugging of the issue so that they can fix it themselves. That would be awesome if that's a possibility. Good luck on figuring out the root cause. I'm trying to see if a friend of mine that that is in the that is a contractor can also look into the matter. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next challenge here. Adding a duplicate case type search. So, um, so it's kind of unfortunate that, um, um, it is kind of unfortunate that, um, we couldn't get to a point where, I can complete that challenge, but, you know, what can I do? Okay, so I need to reset the Pega instance there because I don't necessarily want to have the old instance um, get in the way of this particular challenge. So, um, okay. Inscorp wants to ensure that only one assistance request case is processed for each request. Customers that send assistance requests might have difficulty determining their exact location. If a customer submits multiple requests for the same vehicle but for slightly different locations, the application should identify the new case as a duplicate case. The following table provides the credentials you need to complete the challenge. So once again, we're doing the author. Let me do a quick copy of the password. As I mentioned before, I don't do the challenge walkthrough normally. Um, you know, Obviously it goes step by step through all the detailed tasks and stuff like that. But I mean, if the detailed task is, um, accurate, then you won't necessarily need the challenge walkthrough. So you shouldn't necessarily need to worry about it too much. I use it as like and after the fact, like, hey, I just did it. I'm not getting the same results. What does your challenge walkthrough do to be different? Or, to maybe show the correct steps. Or maybe um, the exercise doesn't have all the steps there, which makes it kind of confusing. Whatever, what have you, right? So, but I don't typically worry about the challenge walkthrough during these. You're welcome to use it if you want, but like I said, if the steps are accurate, then you should be fine. So, All right. Come on now. Oh, for anybody that's wondering, I have some background music going on for myself just so I can keep my headset on. But obviously that's copyrighted music. I can't, uh, if I even attempt to play even a slight section of that music, I'm gonna get copyright claimed. Okay, and I really don't want that to happen. So apologies to anybody that's like, going, boy, Jim, you have a lot of, you know, dead air. You know, it's like there's not much I can relate to. I mean, um, there's I've tried other means to try to handle that. Um, I tried doing just like a MIDI, you know, computerized version of the song that got flagged. I've tried, um, radio stations that say that they're completely copyright free. Um, you know, I won't get copyright claimed by any of the music that plays on these radio stations. But I did that one time and I got claimed 7 times on that one, for the 7 different songs. Or there were songs there that weren't claimed, but I mean, 7 songs. It's ridiculous. Um, um, now, um, at one point in time, I did have one particular individual say, "Hey, use my music. I have no problem on giving you rights to it." But I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but at the same time, if they ever get a record deal from, from like a record company or something like that for their music, then they're gonna come after my videos after the fact and claim them, later down the line. And it's like, I, as much as I might say, sure, I'll play your music, but at the same time, I would need to have that in writing, like, straight up email, like, hey, you know, if any company tries to claim your video, show this as proof that you have, direct authorization by me to play the music. Because, um, unless I have something like that, then even then, well, I mean, even then, they still might have all the legal rights to do the copyright claim anyway. I mean, I would probably have to try to fight it in court, you know, that um, that the record company is um, going against even your wishes on that. So, if you were a musician and you're wanting to, like, maybe, maybe you're a musician, you want to get your brand out there, you want to, heard by as many people as you possibly can. That's all well and great, but as soon as if you do get a a record deal, if you know make it into the record company, start selling your songs through recording studio, record studio, um, that is distributing your content, then they will, actively start, looking for those of us that are, playing your music with, for free, pretty much. So they're gonna come after us, you know. So I'm very hesitant on going on that route too. So Um, covers are the covers can't be done either. You know, those will be claimed. So just music in general is just terrible. And on YouTube. So that's that took a little too much time. Okay, for the purposes of this challenge, the relevant properties are exposed to support the duplicate cases search on data relationship properties. All right, so we are going to go to the assistance request, um, and then we are going to add a new process to the create stage. Boy, Pega is being very slow today. I'm hoping that the developers aren't actually working on this particular server to try to debug the situation that, or, I would hope that the developers are, working on like, instance creations on like an actual development server, getting it to work the way they want it to work, having it test the way they wanted it to test, and then after all that's said and done, then they upload it to this, the running of the instance server. So, one would hope. Okay, that took a while. Okay, so we need to create a new process under the create stage. Okay. Add process, new process. Actually, one thing that I want to check. Okay, so we added a new process. We're going to resolve duplicate cases. Um, I don't know why they have it like right above the enter payment information there when it's like right below it there, but you know, maybe I need to kind of move it. Yeah, I need to move it. Okay. Okay, so click step more automations, search duplicate cases, and then select. So we can add um, the step in. Oh boy. Search duplicate cases. There we go. Now, I'm going to assume that they want me to kind of have the same exact name for it. Um, oh no, they want me to kind of keep the same name there. Um, you know what? Let me go ahead and kind of name put that in there. Uh, okay, let me do a quick. I'm gonna kind of screenshot this particular section here so that I can kind of look at it when I do the suggestion edit here real quick. Um, in section 1, um, um, step 5 in creating the search duplicate cases, it doesn't mention um, changing the label of the step. Um, can you add a slight edit to state that the label name can remain the default? There we go. Done. All right. Getting rid of that. Um, just going to try to do a little bit of Dragon Age, but I can switch when you are ready. Alright. Sorry, just talking with Blackheart about tonight's stream. So, okay, um, so they're saying, hey, delete this, and then we are moving that above. Um, Now, changing the label shouldn't matter at all. I could basically, um, do I have the, um, you know, I could have, you know, some kind of stupid label in there, or, I could just, have it that, it really doesn't matter, okay, what kind of label that you put in there, as long as it's, you know, as long as that it matches with what you are trying to convey. So, um, they went with the default, which is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. So, um, there is no save going on here, so, or at least right at this moment in time. So one would feel that they're going to want to um, you know uh, they're wanting me to kind of go into the search duplicate cases a little bit more. So click the search duplicate cases, which is what they want you to label it, but they didn't state that up there. Step to open the step properties pane on the right. In the step properties pane, click add basic condition to open a dialog box to configure the basic condition. Um, so here we want to add basic condition. Okay, so here um, in the potential duplicate list, right there, in the vehicle information data relationship section, select make. So we're going to need to go to vehicle information, data relationship, and then make. So vehicle information, data relationship, make. Ensure the comparator list has the default value of is same. On the right, click add icon to add a row. Okay, so is same, and then we click on the plus icon to add another row. Repeat steps 3 through 5 to configure the basic condition as shown in the following image. Okay, so we have all of these as ands, meaning that if any one of these is false, then it fails. Okay, it's not an exact duplicate, and therefore you don't have to worry about it. Okay, if these were all ors, then that would be a very interesting take on whether something's duplicate or not. Um, so yeah, these all have to be kind of ands to them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in these three there and put in what's there. So we have model, model year, and color. So um, model, model year, and color. There we go. Click OK to close the dialog box. Okay. So there's our condition over there for the resolve duplicate cases step. Okay. We can do the weighted condition or condition over here as well, but let's hold off on that for the time being. Let's see, what they want to do on this one. So in the step properties pane of the search duplicate cases step. So here's another thing that kind of bugs me is the fact that they keep on doing step properties pane, but they've also named it, something else as well. The context pane, I believe they've also kind of called it. So it's like, keep consistent in your language. You know, calling it two different things can lead to potential confusion for anybody that might not maybe they're used to it being called one way and suddenly you're throwing like something else at them. So um, either stick with one name and keep with that, um, or put down both because you're not really about um, all right. So in the step properties pane of the search duplicate cases step, in the and weighted condition sum at least field, enter 50. Okay, so and weighted condition sum at least. So we want 50 there. So basically, if if the total weighted condition, adds up to above 50, then um, then it'll flag it as a duplicate case. So uh, click Add Weighted Condition to open dialog box to configure the weighted condition. In the weight 0 to 100 field, enter the value of 25. In the potential duplicate list, in the service address data relationship section, select city. Ensure that the comparator list has the default value of is equal to. Um, oh boy, there's still quite a bit for me to kind of go through on this one, and I'm already kind of past the hour. So apologies on that. But let's go ahead and try to finish this off here. Okay, so first off, let's get the add weighted condition in so that we can kind of see the dialog box. Weight is 25. Um, in the potential duplicate list and the service address data relationship, we want city. So um, oh wait, what was it again? Service address. Service address, data relationship, and it was city. Yeah. Ensure that the comparator list is equal to. So it is. To the right of the current case field, click Select Values to open the Select Values dialog box. In the type list, select another field to display a drop-down list. Okay, so we want select values. We want the drop-down list. We want, what was it, existing values? Oh no, we want another field. There we go. Okay. In the drop-down list, select service address, data relationship, and city. Okay. So, basically the exact same one. So, and I'm assuming submit. Yep. Click submit to select service dot service address dot city in the current case and return to the weighted condition dialog box. In the dialog box, click OK to complete the configuration of the first weighted condition. Repeat steps 2 through 10 to add 2 additional weighted conditions as shown in the following image. So click on that, and there's our first one that we have there. Okay. Then we want to create, 2 more here, which let me. I don't know. If I switch it over to like a new window, then I would mean that I would have to like try to um, show you guys, you know, the different windows, or try to cycle between the two, and that might be a little problematic. So okay, so each one of them is 25, um, and from the looks of it, we need to do the exact same thing with the service address data relationship, but this time we have state and street. So data relationship of state. Okay, just to make sure that it's correct, state is equal to service address dot state. Right. We want to add another one, 25 again. Surface address, street. Select value, another field. And then we do the exact same thing, street. Service address, street, everything looks good. There we go. Okay, and then we click on save to, everything is done. So now we go into confirming the steps, or, confirming the process here. So, um, so we do the save and run. In the identify location step, enter the potential match criteria in the city, state, and street fields. Identify vehicle step must enter must match criteria in the make, model year, and color fields. That's bad English there. Advance to the enter payment information step. Create another instance request case instance. Identify location step, enter the city and state values for step 2, but enter a different value in the street field. And identify vehicle step, enter the same make, model year, and color values from step 3. Click create to open the display duplicate cases view. So, alright, so everything's good there. Save and run. Okay, so I might not be able to do too much in terms of getting some videos uploaded today in today's stream, but flat tire, continue. Continue. Okay. I was wondering if I could maybe take some of their information here um, to see if I can, copy it and the like, but, they're not really giving me anything there, so, we're just gonna go ahead and do, my standard here. Okay, I need to kind of take care of everything that they want me to kind of take care of, so, you know, advance the case to the enter payment information step, create another instance request case instance. So, alright, so it looks as though, that's been done, right? Everything's been taken care of. So now we want to do another case type. We're going to do save and run. Because we're creating another instance request case instance. Enter the city and state values in step 2, but enter a different value for the street. So, flat tire, same person, which, should probably be like red flag anyway. But, we're going to do a different address. But same city and same state. Um, but they wanted us to do the same make, model, color, and model year. Um, so, and then we create. All right. And you see the display duplicate cases. Current case was identified as a potential duplicate of the following. So, um, there you go. Um, you know, different case number, obviously, because that will, that will be different based off of, how many cases have you made, so on and so forth. Um, so obviously, when they did this um, copy right here, they've already had, some previous cases already kind of done. So, but whatever. Created on obviously will be, today's date. So I mean, not much, not much going on there. And then of course, status is going to be new, um, which, um, well, I'd already moved it on past the create stage, right? So it's now under the pending qualification, so it's not going to necessarily be new. But I mean, it's still same kind of, um, it's still this, same duplicate deal there. So how do you want to resolve the event? Close the case as duplicate or ignore and continue. Click why is this shown here to display the duplicate case analysis window. So we want to do that. Okay, and as you can see, you have the same make, same model, um, same model year, same color, same city, same state. So, um, and the aggregate score equals 50, which means the threshold. So you have the aggregate score and you have the threshold. So the city and state values are coming up, 25 for both of those. So that's where the weighted value comes into play. The um, hmm. Right, which was flagged by the way conditions. Now, um, why it didn't necessarily flag it just based on the basic condition of the fact that everything was the same is you know um, a little interesting, but um, but at the same time, a particular individual might have the same make, model year, and color of the car. Okay, so don't feel like this is the you know, hey, we're gonna flag all the cars that look like this. And it's like, well, it's a standard car that you know, um, you're not gonna have. It'd be very interesting for you to have. Um, I mean, you would have to like really like change things up a lot to make it stand out from like any other car, right? If you really wanted to, you could probably just go, hey, I'm gonna, spray paint my car and some off color that hardly anybody will ever pick ever. Maybe you add some graphics to it or something like that. Who knows, right? Um, and maybe, just maybe, it's unique enough out there in the world that no one else will have the exact same color. Uh, you know, Make, model, model year, yeah, those are pretty much going to be the same. I mean, unless unless the one, and unless the creator of said car only made one car and that's it. Um, you know, the only difference would be like the color, and even then, it's like, um, but they have the weighted values, which they it flagged two out of the three, so that's why it got flagged as a potential duplicate. Granted, the make, model year, and color also, you know, um, the basics were basically saying, hey, this has potential, check the weighted. So, so there. So everything should be, um, huh? Um, what's going on here? Hmm. Not sure what's going on there. Um, maybe, um, maybe because the first one that I did, I put it into the pending qualifying. Maybe. Um, um, let me try like the have the street and state. This one still has the pending qualification there, but maybe that will be fine. Nope, apparently not. Hmm. Okay, you know what? Let me. Um. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Let me switch. Um. Let me switch to the A1 and resolve it. I mean, we still have the A2 as new. So let me just go ahead and kind of close through this here. Okay. Now we still have another one that is still new. So let's see if it flags. Um, okay. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, maybe it was because I accidentally moved on beyond the enter payment information step that it's getting hung up on. So I'm gonna stop it here. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and just do a full-on reset of this. I will go through it step by step again in the hopes that, um, I won't go past the enter payment information step, and then hopefully that the verify challenge won't be so um, very focused on this. Let me take a screenshot of this though, because um, let me have that on hand just in case. So if I need to send it to them tomorrow, like, hey, I'm trying to verify this challenge. It keeps on having some difficulty, or it's continuing to give me some difficulty on this. Please help me resolve this, or tell me what I'm doing wrong, because um, clearly we're having some issues with this. But oh well. But again, once again, I have another challenge that um, is not getting completed at this. So um, I'll see about trying to get it done tomorrow, and then hopefully after, I'll quickly go through it. Try to see if I can get it complete. And then we will move on to skipping a process or stage afterwards. So apologies on all this there, folks. I wish that they, uh, I, I don't know. You know, I could be messing up a step somewhere, but at the same time, it felt like I did all the necessary steps that they wanted me to do anyway. So it's like, what's going on here? So I don't know. We'll find out. So um, so we'll kind of um, we'll see what we're kind of tackling, or what we're dealing with on this. Um, so that will have to be postponed. So, all right, but we're gonna go ahead and close on down on this. So if you like the video, feel free to do all the standard YouTube stuff that will help me on the algorithm. That would be awesome. Um, go check out the other playlists. Um, you know, feel free to give a comment if you have any kind of questions or comment, just general comments, or maybe, you have some insight as to what's going on. Maybe you can point, me and or anybody else in the right direction. I don't really know. Um, you know, most comments are welcome. So on my YouTube videos, so feel free to do that. But that's where we're going to go ahead and call it at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right now.